Hi everyone, Senator Jason Rarick here at the Capitol, and as the Republican lead on the Education Finance Committee, I have watched firsthand a number of the things that have happened these last 2 years here at the legislature that have had an impact on our schools. And I have had all kinds of conversations with superintendents and school board members and teachers about what the impacts are that have come down on them over these last 2 years. And after the 2023 session, Democrats touted this $2.2 billion in increased funding for education. But the reality that we started seeing and that Republicans talked about all along was that all of these new mandates that you're also including are going to eat up that money. And as the 24 school year started ending, and we started hearing from around the state the potential cuts that all school districts were going to have to start making. And as I've continued to have the conversations this summer with school boards and with superintendents especially, not only were they given no relief from this last legislative session, I offered a plan to allow them up to 3 years to incorporate these new mandates and to be able to redistribute the funding to areas of need within their school districts. Not only did the Democrats not even begin to have a conversation to see if that was a good idea or not, instead of going down that route, they did new mandates on our schools. So not only did our school boards over this summer interim have to see if are we doing everything right from the 23 legislative session, now they had to incorporate more. We still don't know, but it's 20 to 30 some new mandates on top of the 65 new mandates that came the previous session. In talking to our superintendents and school boards, the word I have heard over and over and over is overwhelmed. We are completely overwhelmed by these mandates and requirements. Now, maybe when you look at some of these large school districts, they have the administration to take the time and go through all this stuff. But these small school districts in my area and around rural Minnesota, and even in the metro area, a number of these very small school districts, they have 1 or 2 people that have to deal with all of this on top of their everyday job. They just cannot handle it. And as we are about to start the new school year, many of them are fearful that they haven't caught everything, that they are not going to be following state statute because they just didn't have the time and didn't have the ability to catch it all and incorporate it all. And that is a sad thing to think that we have people in our schools who are fearful that they're not going to be following state statute, not because they don't want to, not because they don't think it's right or wrong, just because so much was placed on them and the burden was too big for them to incorporate it all into their policies and into their curriculum. It's just not the right way for the legislature to treat our schools. We have to do better, and I am going to be committed this fall to continue the conversations and bring plans in this next legislative session to try and ease that burden and to try and help them financially to be able to incorporate the needs that they have, not just the whims of what the legislature thinks they should be doing. This is how we should be approaching our education, giving our schools the tools they need, the freedom they need locally to do what's right for their area, and the flexibility to change to grow needs at a certain time, and the spending flexibility to do what they need to do for their facility and for their local teachers. That's what we need to do, and I so appreciate my local superintendents and school boards and teachers who have engaged in this conversation with me over the last 2+ years. They have given me the background I need as we approach this next legislative session to try to come forward with some ideas that will really, really help our schools.